Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, interesting news coming out of British boxing. Anthony Yarde has announced that his promotional contract with Frank Warren, his long-term promoter, has now expired. And going forwards he will assess options as to where to go from here. Of course, Anthony Yarde has been with Frank Warren since day one, since his pro debut, and Frank Warren spotted Anthony Yarde in the amateurs when Yarde only had, 13 amateur fights, something like that. And overall, you look at the job he's done for Anthony Yarde, Frank Warren has done a remarkable job. He's got him 2 world title fights when, you look at his resume, he's not really beaten anybody of consequence. Certainly not enough guys to garner 2 title shots. He's fought Sergey Kovalev in Russia, got a big payday, lost that fight, and also fought Artur Beterbiev in the UK, hometown advantage. So in regards to opportunities, I think Frank Warren's done a very good job for Anthony Yarde. Maybe going forwards from here, a fresh start will be the best thing for Anthony Yarde. Hopefully it opens the door for new fights. He was mentioning he wanted to get this situation sorted and then re-enter negotiations with Joshua Buatsi. Of course, Joshua Buatsi is a Sky Sports fighter and he fights under Ben Shalom at Boxer. And, Boxer haven't they haven't shown a willingness to work with other promoters. Now Yarde is apparently a free agent. Hopefully that makes the fight with Buatsi more possible. Because ultimately, when you look at Yarde, he's had 2 world title fights, he's come up short, put good efforts in both fights, but he came up quite short. Rebuilding from here, I think the Buatsi fight makes so much sense. Buatsi is highly ranked, he's unbeaten, it's a big domestic fight in the UK, Yarde versus Buatsi. Stylistically, I really think it's an intriguing fight. Buatsi is aggressive, he likes to put his shots together. I would say he's more technically correct than Anthony Yarde, but Yarde has, in my opinion, the speed advantage. I would say he's more explosive, and stylistically, I think Yarde has a couple of attributes that will give Buatsi real trouble and would put him in real danger in that fight. Mainly the ability of Yarde to counter with speed and power, but also his ability to punch through the middle with his straight right hand. I think if he punches with Buatsi, he's got a very good chance of hurting Buatsi, because Buatsi, when he opens up, he's got a habit of squaring up. Sometimes he'll throw wide shots and he squares up while doing so. If Yarde can get those straights going, the straight right hand, the pull counter right hand, which is a really good shot of Anthony Yarde, I think he can do damage to Buatsi. I think, in my mind at least, I think Buatsi would win more rounds in that fight than Anthony Yarde, due to his more consistent jab, due to his better punch output, and overall I'd say he's better technically. But I think Yarde has the X factor to win that fight and take advantage of Buatsi's defensive flaws. I really do think it's a fascinating fight that could go either way. So hopefully this news that Yarde is now a free agent, or apparently so, hopefully that makes this fight a lot more possible, because it's the sort of fight we need in British boxing, and the winner of this fight can go on obviously and maybe challenge for world titles. Yarde can get back in that position, whereas Buatsi still hasn't got there, so a win of this magnitude in a fight like this would definitely further his case of fighting for a world title. And overall, you look at Buatsi, some would say he hasn't shown much ambition in his career. I think that's fair to say. It's felt like in recent years, Buatsi has been treading water, but this fight would break that trend, in my opinion, because I see Yarde as a very dangerous fight for Buatsi, and a fight in which Buatsi could lose. So yeah, interesting news about Yarde's contract situation. I'm a little bit surprised because, Frank Warren has put in so much work with Anthony Yarde. Maybe there's been a falling out behind the scenes, but ultimately it could be good for boxing fans if this is the case. Maybe it makes these sort of fights closer and more possible. I'm sure other promoters will be sniffing around Yarde, not just Sky Sports. I'm sure Matchroom will be taking a look, no doubt. But I think Boxer and the Buatsi fight is the route I'd like to see Yarde go down, personally. But yeah, interesting news. Share your thoughts below. What do you make of this news? What do you think happens next from this point? Beanie Guy Delboy, peace.